So now you ask yourself, hey RagingRaptor, why exactly do you think that this tank will be a new tier 10 tank for the Russian techtree? And well, my dear questionnaire, good that you ask, because obviously always stay alert and always try to make your own mind on your own opinion. I personally think this tank fits rather well into a T10 branch.
And without further ado, well, hello everybody and welcome to a new World of Tanks preview video. And today we have once again some insider news. And what you just saw right now is basically me stroking my own back for being right with a prediction. Apparently, or 3 months ago, when the changes of the T10 were announced, with the T10 being replaced by the Object 257 and leading to a new tier 10 tank, I said, hey, there is a tank in again called the Object 777 version 2, which is quite old already. It is around for 2 years now. And today, with 2 different batches of insider news, we got it confirmed that in 9.22, maybe this 9.22 which is coming, or even a further one which like 9.22.1, because at the moment you can see that there is a dot. It could mean that it's the end of the sentence, but then here it will also be a dot, but it could also mean that back there is an X coming, meaning that it could be a 9.22.1. But hard facts now is from the insider that we will get an Object 777 version 2 as the following tier 10 vehicle. I don't want to go too deep into the stats. Well, I already did it here, so yeah, go check this video out. It starts around 8:21, as you could see. And yeah, and today we'll have a look at the other news which we have from today and yesterday. The other big news is that the tank following the Object 432 will not have a fully traversable turret. Again, no idea what tank this could be, except, and this is still, could be something, and this could be the, what's it called, the K91. It is not this one. This would be the technical drawing, but it is a heavy tank. So I don't really think that this will be the tank we are looking for. So, but both tanks will come in 9.22. I guess I'll just keep you up to date with videos like this. But now let's go to the infos from yesterday. And there is a whole bunch. As you could see, today the Secret Insider pulled up some nice information. First, it's the incomplete list of polished tanks which was used by Wargaming. This is what the base for the line which they want to create. Some adjustments might and will happen. According to unofficial info, one line is planned, albeit with some side branches at tier 8 for medium and heavy tanks. The list contains tanks which Wargaming had data of or didn't, but they knew existed. So there are quite some different vehicles in here, and as you can see, there are quite some, well, Russian prototypes. But I also want to have a look at 2 tanks in particular, which is this little one, or I'm sorry, I can even go into tanks.gg because this tank should still be in the game files. And no, apparently it's not. My bad. But this tank was already tested and we already have some photos of this tank. Darn, it looks quite funky, but it's the first polished tank after the Poodle. Excuse me, before the Poodle, this tank was the first polished tank, but it didn't really got, excuse me, still a little bit problem with the throat. They didn't really continue it in the game, like, I don't know what they did with that tank. But yeah, that's about that. Then, as you could see, there are a lot of different prototypes, T-34, or not prototypes, excuse me, variants of Russian tanks. T-34, 85, M2, M3, T-44, T-54, no, T-95, also, or Type 95, a Type 59, T-54, AE, and a T-55 AM prototype. So basically a supercharged T-54, if you want to say it like that. But yeah, we can also see the ES-2M, or Josef Stalin 2M, the IS-3M, CCP, I didn't find anything about that tank, and the Panchernik. And I think Pancernik and I think Pancernik means in Polish battleship. I literally just had the build of a battleship or the name Schlachtschiff in German in mind, hence why I said heist, which is means or names. But yeah, Pancernik is this thing here, and I guess you quite understand why it has the name battleship. It is, as you can see, a Polish land cruiser or land battleship, something like a Maus would be, or the the P1000, I think it's called. But yeah, this theoretically could be a tank in World of Tanks. I have absolutely no clue what this tank could be and could boast. I think it is a 152 to 155 millimeter gun. I'm guessing now because it's sending Calibru, which sounds like caliber, so this is totally my prediction. Totally nothing I know about this tank, to be honest. But yeah, this could theoretically be a tank in World of Tanks, because Wargaming has some informations about it. But yeah, last and not least, they still have some artillery, but yeah, there won't be any artillery. Next up, the Italians will most likely be implemented this year, but you can see they apparently have a little bit of struggle with that. It could be that some stuff will get pushed back, but I'm not entirely sure. And if not next year, the tree will be most likely consistent mostly of METs and TDs. Sounds interesting, as I am a fan of medium and tank destroyers. So yeah, also about the Italian tree, there are there are news out there that the tier 10 could be a Leopard 1 with an autoloader. But again, those are just some news we've got way back. And other than that, there will be a lot of new premium tanks, such as a T-42 planned as a tier 8 American tank. I do not know what a T-42 is, so yeah, it stands here, a mock-up. So yeah, that's about it. If you have some news, shout it in the comments, I'll probably pin it to the top. Next up, Wargaming is working on a map called Kalinin. So I'm not entirely sure. There were two maps leaked. Kalinin, what? And yes, I am not entirely sure that those maps which were leaked, no, there is nothing at all in here. So we can't really see that, apparently. But there will be new Russian premium tanks. Ooh, who would have thought about that? We should not forget there are still like 3 premium Russian tanks in tier 8 already. The Ku-4 KDTS, the Tu-103, the Kirovets 1. Yes, I think that's about it from the Russian side. Otherwise, I forgot something, but yeah. There are a lot of Russian premium tanks in the game already, and looks like they want to add even more. Oh boy. Another news is the marketing department and the historical department have 2 different concepts of the game. Okay, interesting. I guess it's obviously the marketing department wants to sell tanks which are quite strong and maybe broken. Hashtag Chrysler GF, hashtag Defender. But the historical department, I'm understanding that they want to keep it a more realistic approach. But yeah. There will be more premium tanks, more paid camos, and maybe even your own paid custom emblems. Okay, that's interesting, but well, they said they want to introduce new tanks or new customization options more and more into the game. As with the new update, we can paint our tanks already, and you know, I honestly have to say, I really do like that my new tier 10 AMX heavy tank on snow maps has a blue undercolor, just the barrel is red with the with the white rectangular camouflage over it. And about new tanks, this is also a little bit of news. In the Asian server, there will be a brand new mystery tier 8 premium tank next week, from the 22nd to the 24th of January. And many people suggest that it will be the ELC Evan 90, because let's be honest, it's already on a Chinese server, even though Wargaming has no real influence into the Chinese server except for, you guessed it, developing the game. What is happening there with marketing and such things? Wargaming has no hands into that, hence why you can buy the T-22. by the Object 777 as far as I remember. But yeah, it could also be the Caernarvon Action X, and we got a lot of other tanks like what was it, the T-44 Lightweight and so on. But yeah, we have the Secret mechanic which will be introduced in 2018 with a new nation, will be multi-tank, multi-guns, wasn't denied or confirmed. Tricky written, but basically it means that it will most likely be multi-guns. Hence we are already teased with the MTLS, but they don't want to confirm it. But let's be honest, when they're saying it already like this, it's pretty darn sure that it will be multi-gun. Next up, new premium tank sales figures weren't leaked, but Wargaming isn't happy about the Mauerbrecher selling so bad. Well, no wonder. The Mauerbrecher is once in a while quite an balanced vehicle, but I think, personally, it's a little bit underperforming. It has too many weak spots. If you want to know how many weak spots it has, hey, check out my video how to penetrate the Mauerbrecher. Let's be honest, the Mauerbrecher has a huge amount of weak spots. If it's played right, it can still carry a lot of games. It has the same DPM as a Defender, and the gun is a little bit more accurate, has a little bit less penetration. The problem is though, it has just obnoxiously a lot of weak spots. The turret front is still quite weak with 230mm of armor, the cupola is 140, the machine gun frontal is 140, the lower plate is around 180, the lower sides are around 140, even the side of the gun mantlet is 80mm thick, so a tier 4 tank can penetrate it without a problem. Next up, and oh boy, this is probably one of the biggest news. Die Waffenträger auf E100 is considered as the main prize for the next personal mission season. You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen, the Waffenträger auf E100 is going to be, so far, the new tier 10 reward tank like the Object 260. And oh boy, funny enough is that they point out that it's the P version, because there are at the moment in the game files 2 Waffenträger auf E100, which is the Waffenträger auf E100 and the P version. As you can see, the big difference is though that the non-P version is really darn bad, because it has the tier 9 Jack Tigers gun with no better DPM and a much worse, as you can see, engine. But the Waffenträger auf E100P is, it looks like a slightly better version than the old Waffenträger auf E100. I sadly do not have in mind the old stats. I hardly played the Waffenträger auf E100, simply didn't like the playstyle of just nuking something with gold. But yeah, this tank is actually most likely coming back into the game. They nerfed its super hull, they nerfed its armor in general. As you can see, the hull is only 80mm on the front and 50mm on the side. Let's be honest, our top head is still immensely weak with 200mm of armor. But yeah, it has the old Jack Tiger gun, or like the top Jack Tiger with 560 damage, 276mm of penetration, and 352mm of APCR penetration. Now, let me have a quick glimpse. I'm not entirely sure that this is the same amount of APCR penetration. Yes, it is. It is the Jack Tiger gun, basically. And yes, 2 seconds interclip reload speed, 1.44 seconds aim time, 0.28 accuracy, and 2600 DPM. You might think that this DPM sucks for a tier 10 vehicle, but the Foch 155 has 300 less. The Foch B has 400 more, or 460 to be more precise. The Grill 15 has less. The Object 263 has more. The 268 has a little bit more. And now lastly we have a look at the E3, which has a roughly 100 more. So the E4 has the same. So DPM wise it's in the lower half, but it's not too shabby. But yeah, we have more news to cover, so yeah, I am thinking of making a prediction video or a video talking about what tanks could be in the new mission within the Waffenträger auf E100P and the Aufklärungspanzer 5. Other news we have, Wargaming has data on Chinese, Japanese and Italian artillery pieces, but oh god, please, we don't need more artillery. And there is a chance that Japanese and Czechoslovakian trees will get tank destroyers, which I personally don't really dislike. For people which are knowing about Warfront, they already have Japanese TDs, so yeah. I don't really mind that because, yeah, why not? They are big, bulky and have 150mm guns, and they are somewhat something like the upcoming Object 268 version 4, hugely armored frontally. But yeah, another thing is the Chinese tree might receive the M4A4 Duchy Sherman. I don't know what the Sherman is, but apparently it's famous. And lastly, and this is probably one of the other big news in this or today's Insider video, there are plans to expand the existing tech trees and add Yugoslavian, Israeli or Swiss tanks. The whole European tree was scrapped and now it's the worldwide tree, something like the Commonwealth in World of Warships, which will have tanks from countries like Austria, Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, Cuba, Denmark, Egypt, Spain, Finland, Hungary, India, Pakistan, Holland, Peru and Romania. And this, my dudes, seriously, this is actually great news. Not only do they want to add separate Swiss, Yugoslavian and Israeli tank trees, but they would also like to introduce a worldwide tank tree. And for people which want to know, Mitsutayo, I think, I'm not entirely sure if I said it correctly, a Swiss friend of mine, I would say, or Swiss World of Tanks player, also an quite good guy when it comes to history stuff, made up a whole Swiss branch for the Swiss tank tree. And I also had a quick look at it, so I'm suggesting to you to have a look at that as well if you wish to. And I'm leaving in the comment section below a link to this whole tree. Well, oh my god, I misclicked. It's a proposal still, but I think, as far as I remember, he's actually trying to work with that. Seriously. I actually need to do it like this. And I actually need to... Hello everybody, my name is... Don't need to hear myself watch, but yeah. This is actually a tank tree they could introduce, and there are a lot of tanks. Most notably, I think the Typhoon, the Chancellors, the Panzer 68 to 88, and yeah, the Panzer 74F, which is would be an interesting tier 10 heavy tank. Anywho guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, let me know in the comment section below. Got quite long now, but yeah, those are insider news. Thanks so much and good luck on the battlefield. Bye bye.